But let's transition to 2026, the upcoming season, and we'll kind of finish out with our final rankings of the season as well as some awards if we can issue out some rewards. But when you think through 2026 and the roster construction that's necessary, I want to first call out we chose not to pick up quite a few guys options. Some names, we have Zelensky, who we signed out of the draft last year, which low-key I was kind of surprised that we didn't extend his contract, but he also got loaned out the back half of the season. Devin Paddleford, who was a loan anyway. Vollum, who was a loan, which kills me to see him leave the club. I thought he was a bright spot. Henry Kessler, we did not extend, which I hope to God we are, trying to sign in the background of this. We did not extend Seth Antwi from City 2, Jaden Reed, Selmier Pedro, Ben Lunt, and then we re-signed him a week ago. Akil Watts, Alfredo Morales, Rasmus Alm, and Michael Wenzel. So quite a few guys that are no longer on our roster, and that still is Jake Woodreich is still out on loan as well. So quite a few holes that we need to fill heading into the 2026 season. What to you all? And, I also want to give a big shout out to Chat City Tactics, our favorite Twitter, what do you want to call him? Data nerd for St. Louis City? What's his official title?
That.
Yeah, whatever.
I think he'd like that. Yeah.
Shout out Michael. But Michael wrote a really, really, really good article about basically the 2025 heading into 2026 roster audit of St. Louis City. I would deeply encourage you to read it, to dissect it, because he just breaks it down like the brass tacks of literally the numbers of what we have in each position. There are some numbers that we don't need to touch. We are fine in those positions. And then there are some positions that are really worrying. And of course, he always offers the what would Michael do in this scenario. And I appreciate that about this article. But this is not the What Would Michael Do podcast. This is the Mecca of Banter podcast. So Lucas Winkleman, Andy Hoover, when you think about the 2 to 3 positions of need on the field, what are your top priorities heading into 2026?
Sign Kessler. What the hell are we doing, brother? You want to talk about incompetence in the front office. If that doesn't happen, you're deluded. He was, hands down, one of the best players on the team. He's your consistent, everyday, field general starting center back. You pair him next to this new talent who he can learn from. It's a high-powered center back pairing. The fact that we haven't done that is unbelievable to me. And I don't care if that's a Corey Ray decision or a Diego or a Carolyn decision. Everyone in the stadium knows that he was our best defensive player. And I don't think it's a question. So, for one, let's start there. If I have to watch Josh Yarrow or Kyle Hebert play center back ever again, I'm going to be sick. Dude, I'm over it.
Just to call it out for what it is, it was also announced this week that Josh Yarrow extended his contract, which, stoked for him, stoked for Josh, the guy. But as a Twitter has just been such a funny place over the last week where, whenever that was announced, it was basically, I saw a bunch of responses of if you were so disappointed in the roster construction from Lutz, why are you re-signing the guys that,
statistically,
whatever.
Some of the worst defender, some of the worst performances we had last year were with Josh Yarrow on the field. And we love the guy, that's the thing with this MLS stuff. You're closer to everyone, so you don't want to drag as hard as you think you can. Dude, that's just a zero ambition re-signing, in my opinion. And he could have gone anywhere and been a center back's, backup for whoever. He's an MLS journeyman and can make it that way. But just delusional to use a roster spot, in my opinion, on that. Bring in the youth, dude, or something.